Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Brunch Club presents Utharian Legends here on the D4 RPG channel. Uh, it's good to see you all. I was obviously off last session, and I want to thank Big B for stepping in both to bring Sobus back into interaction with the party, which I know everyone really enjoyed, but also giving me a much needed day to recover from some stuff I was dealing with. So again, Big B, thank you. There are very few people that I implicitly trust with Utharia as a world, and Big B is absolutely one of them. So, big thanks from me for being able to step in and take that so that we didn't have to miss a week. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a moment. I want to go around and make sure that everybody can introduce themselves and say their piece before we get into it. We are obviously down a Gloriosa, who is currently out of town. We obviously miss her and wish her a speedy return. She should be, as far as I understand it, back for our next episode. But that is obviously pending everything going on as far as they go. So, we'll play it by ear and see how things go. And last but not least, before I start going around the table, I would be remiss as a white, mostly cis, mostly male person if I did not say that reproductive rights are human rights and that everyone here 100% stands with those who are seeking justice in our legal system and in our lives as far as that goes. If that is something that you have a genuine issue with, feel free to DM me and I will be happy to talk to you for as long as I can take it. All right, we're going to go around the room, around the table, and let everybody introduce themselves. I'm just going to go in clockwise order from where I'm seeing it on my screen. So, Master Finn, you are up next.
Oh, hi, hello, it me, Finnegan Archer. Showing my support and solidarity with Robo-Goblin, who I will say on every situation, Robo-Goblin's the best of us. And I want to be a part of La Familia de Robo-Goblin. But oh, hi, hello, Finn Archer, Bloodhaven Bard here. Just wanted to say that I'm sorry, I was in my feels this morning about how much I loved being at the table with Robo again this morning. But wanted to say hey to everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. You can find me on Twitter at BloodhavenBard. No uterus, no opinion, and that's all I gotta say about that.
All right, speaking of Robo, you are next in my list.
It's me, Robo-Goblin. And I'll be playing the little halfling Lunes Velasco, who is Circle of Stars Druid. And I also got a thing, but that's before or after my stuff. Yeah, okay. Okay, so right now you can get a chess code for Idle Champions. The code is right here somewhere in the overlay. It's Oats, Tuis, Heed. So don't say that out loud because you might summon a demon or something. Or do. I can't stop you. And you can exchange that for one Electrum chest. And don't forget to check out the newest champion, Nahara, and her familiar cat Saja. Saja? Is it Saja or Sasha? I don't know. From Black Dice Society. She joins the game on July 29th. So check that out and thank you. Have fun and send me all your loot from your Electrum chest scouts. Bye, everybody.
Miss Jessica.
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
I've been unmuted this entire freaking time. Are you kidding me? I need more coffee. Clearly. Hi, I'm Jess. I'm playing your sassy Eladrin sorceress Alma. And you can find me on the Twitters at Jessica Skell. And yeah, I'm here this morning and coffee and love you guys. And so glad you're back and to join us. And hi Robo, I missed you. That's it for me. I'm done.
And last but certainly not least, Miss Barbara.
Oh, hi, hello. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Babs the Bat, and I might need to change my intro because every time I say it, I want to go, it me, Robo Goblin, and that's not who I am. So, but speaking of Robo Goblin, we're happy you're back. We missed you last week, and we miss Trieste this week, but yeah, I am here. I am playing Tish, the Tiefling Echo Knight Silver Dragon ish creation of Mine and Strikes. And yeah, you can find me everywhere at Real Babs the Bat, because I'm the real one. So, yeah.
All right. So, with no further ado, we'll go ahead and jump right into where we left off as of 2 weeks ago. So, when we last left our heroes, they had made a surprise reunion out in the desert and barely avoided a ruin storm by seeking shelter in a cave. There was obviously a lot of emotions in that reunion and a lot of danger leading up into it. And I'm simply going to say, for the sake of ease getting into things, that the reunion continued at least for a bit, and then everyone had to take a rest. There were combat, there were spells used. Obviously, the emotions of a reunion of that sort are pretty intense ordinarily. And when the morning comes and sun streams into the very mouth of the cave, Robin and Alma will awaken to see a few things a little bit different than what they were when they went to rest initially. And yes, I know that Alma is meditating as opposed to sleeping. But even then, I assume that at some point she's closing her eyes, which is really all we needed as far as that goes. There is a note left where Sobus and Dendra had laid down for them to rest. We had just found a note from Dendra and Sobus in the cave. And it simply reads, where we're headed, we had to leave early to avoid storm patterns. Use ascending if you need to. Good luck. And underneath it, a small scrawl from Sobus that says, thank you. Additionally, in this cave, the bedroll where Glory was sleeping, instead of a sleeping half-elf, has a small wooden figure carved in the likeness of Gloriosa and a small scrap of paper that just said, need to borrow this, we'll return later, Ertia.
That tracks.
Wait, need to borrow it was signed what now?
Ertia, the goddess of invention.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to double check on that one. I was like, yep, another kidnapping god. This tracks so much.
It's really convenient from a DM perspective to be able to just Deus Ex Machina people in and out.
And also,
super
like,
helpful.
The whole case that Robin builds against the gods for being, like, decent people, they're making it for him. They're making the case for him. He's just like, you know what? There's all this kidnapping stuff. This is, nope.
I have always adored the ancient polytheistic traditions for their much more relatable deities.
Right.
Having the gods be flawed in their own ways and have their own agendas makes more sense in my head than a simple, all-powerful, perfect being that can never make any errors. I don't read Superman comics for much the same reason. So as Alma and Robin are waking up and taking stock of a now considerably more intimate cave setting than I think they were necessarily anticipating at this point, there is luckily a flash of light and a teleport spell plops Lunez directly into the cave along with you.
When you say plops, did this teleportation not open at ground level?
It was about a foot off the ground. They're not 100% precise, and when you're shooting a teleport through a scry, you do the best you can.
Oh, hi.
You always gotta wake up with a thud, don't you?
Yep. It's me, Lunes. Good morning.
Welcome back.
Good
So
morning,
what-
Moonchild.
Good morning. What did I miss? Where's Gloriosa?
Okay, so to sum up, we found Sobus and his mom. We
Oh?
fought cloud monsters, and then
Oh.
we found out why the storms of the desert have such a reputation. They earned it. Escaped into this cave, fell asleep. Sobus and mom had to peace out. Gloriosa got yanked by a god.
That tracks. So, what's happening with Sobus and his mom?
Honestly, there wasn't enough time to learn much more than they were following a rumor about some of their people still wandering out in the desert. And while they were running down that lead, they were beset by these air creatures that apparently follow along the heels of a storm. And we were able to help them out of the tight spot and take shelter in this cave before the storm hit.
Don't forget about the giant scorpions before that.
Oh.
No. We did not help with the giant scorpions.
No,
giant scorpions were done.
What does that mean?
Oh, that means that by the time we arrived on scene, Sobus had already played Exterminator. He was only having a hard time with the air monsters.
Oh.
Because
Gotcha.
out here, the air fights back.
Okay.
Unless you're me.
What?
We do need to talk
Did
about
you-
that.
Did you notice that?
Robin's gonna look around because the other member of the party would obviously be Tish. Is Tish up and about, or did Tish pull the golem thing and wake up before everybody and hide?
I assume that Tish is kind of in the back of the cave, resting.
All right. So Robin looks around and doesn't see Tish right off the bat, but just goes, "Yeah. So was I the only one that noticed the air monsters didn't attack you at all? Were they targeting me or avoiding you? Because one of the two seemed to definitely be happening."
I think they were avoiding me.
Can you control those creatures?
I mean, not that I know of, but one of them made a beeline straight towards me and then just noped right off. And then it happened again. And as soon as I got close to one of them, they would run away again. I don't know what that's about.
What kind of creatures were they?
Do we know they were air elementals? Strike.
Give me an Arcana check.
Robin's gonna while Alma's searching her mind to figure out the name of these creatures, Robin's gonna say, "They're the angriest clouds I've ever met. Just really mean, angry clouds. I've gotten just slammed and pounded before, but this was not the way I wanted."
Huh. Ah, damn it.
Really?
Over
Already?
in the corner.
13,
And-
strike.
Yeah, you'll know that there.
Over in the corner, you see and hear the biggest snore. And you look over, and there's a young silver dragon just belly up, claws twitching, just snoring.
Oh my god. Why you do this to me? That's so cute.
Alma is going to say they were
with a little bit of cold breath, just
they were air. And as soon as she hears the snore, to the air elementals and go look at Tish. Look back at Robin.
She normally does not sleep as a dragon.
I have an idea.
I'm all ears.
Oh, you don't get to play with this one. Alma's going to tiptoe to where she is and just boop her square in the nose and go, boop! Good morning, sunshine!
Strike, I would like to accidentally use my breath weapon.
You're gonna say
on Alma or just in the direction of up?
Just
I'm right in front of her face!
Aren't you resistant to cold damage?
I am resistant to cold damage.
Okay,
yes,
that's
I
the
am.
only reason I'm even suggesting it, is because I know you're relatively okay.
Give me a dex saving throw, Alma. I'll give it to you at advantage.
No, roll a Constitution save.
It says dex save on your sheet.
I would much rather have a dex save.
As a dragon, my cold breath is dragon exhales in a 30-foot cone. Each creature must make a DC 17.
Oh, that's right. It's dex for what we have on your sheet in D&D Beyond. It's con for the actual, yes.
Yes.
So yeah, it'll be con.
The Winter Eladrin, yes. Did you roll with advantage?
Roll with advantage.
17!
Oh,
Hey.
you just made it. Good job. Let's see. Is it
It's half on a dex, and then she'll half it again with her resistance.
Yep. Oof.
Or half on a con save, and then she halves it with her resistance.
Lunas is just like Alma.
What's half of 39?
So that turns into 19, which turns into 9.
Oh shit.
Okay, so Alma is going to just kind of stand there and say, with like little frost like coming off her eyelashes and off her wig and stuff, and be like, I did not think this through.
Didn't you?
It was essentially the same as like your dog snarfing on you.
I'm sorry, repeat that. How many?
9 total points of
9
cold damage.
total. Nice.
Haven't you ever heard not to wake a sleeping dragon?
Clearly not.
It's something that most people learn very quickly. But Robin will actually like walk up behind Alma and like give her a nice hearty pat on the back with like some frost bits and snowflakes popping off of her. And could have told you not to wake her. And as he does, he casts Cure Wounds. So he does the hearty pat on the back. Could have told you not to wake her. Cast Cure Wounds. So you're going to get back
All 9 hit points.
all 9 hit points because I rolled a 5 and it's a +5. So you get all your hit points back. So you just I cast the Cure Wounds on you.
Amazing.
But now that you're awake, Trinket, you are awake.
There's slow dragon
Big
stretches.
stretch. Ooh, big stretch.
Downward facing dragon, upward facing dragon.
And a little bit of a shake. And then just kind of like blinks her big 1 silver, 1 gold eye. And Oh. And you watch as Tish resumes their tiefling form. That's odd. We haven't slept as a dragon in a while. We must have been very tired.
You also found yourself in a cave, so it could be just like kind of...
Oh yes, this cave was quite cozy.
Oh, I get it. Caves and dragons, I get it. Like Dungeons
Yes,
and
this
Dragons.
one is smaller.
Like Dungeons and Dragons, yes.
This one is a bit smaller than our cave, but still quite homey.
Speaking of
Tish?
your homies.
What's a homie?
Okay, your friends. Speaking of your friends, did you notice the... What did you call them, Alma? The monsters, what did you say they were, Alma?
Oh, air elementals.
The air elementals, the angry cloud boys. Did you notice them avoiding Alma as well? Or did we dream that
We
up?
did notice that, yes.
I wish the air that just came out of her mouth had missed me too.
I mean, to be fair, you
Alma, I
actually-
apologize.
It's okay. It's my own fault for trying to have fun.
My nose as a dragon is a little bit ticklish.
I noted. I will never do that again.
But are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay.
You didn't do much damage, and Robin here was kind enough to fix it for me.
Oh, good. Good job, Robin.
I mean, if it helps,
Did you just give her coffee? Is that what cured her?
I have not had coffee yet.
That thing we gave you.
Ooh,
You do have coffee.
I do have coffee, so I'm gonna do that. But I must say, for a dragon just waking up, has a bit of a minty smell to your breath. So at least you don't have dragon breath in the morning.
We have
It's
heard
fresh.
it called Winterfresh.
Oh, I love that name. Is that? Ooh, that could be like a dragon name. Winterfresh.
Anywho, so coffee. So Alma's gonna go and do her coffee thing.
Good morning, Lunas.
Good morning.
How are you? It is
I'm
nice to
good.
see you back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. I just got here. Plopped here. Question: do you have to normally control yourself to be a dragon, or can you just lose control and just become a dragon, or how does it work?
It is an exhausting process to change back and forth. So it is best to choose which form to be in for the majority of the day,
Oh,
which we tend to default lately to this form because it is so exhausting. If we do go dragon, most of the time, at least lately, we seem to be changing back and forth a lot lately. But lately it seems more exhausting, and so that might be why we fell asleep as a dragon. It just felt like a lot to have to change back again.
We actually might need to talk about that trinket when you have the moment. Seeing as you are now a known silver dragon, that does make you kind of a hunted creature, given the powers that be. We might need to just be very, very careful about that in the future. I don't know what the rules are on scrying you. If someone tries to scry a silver dragon, if you only pop up if you're in that form. but we just might need to be careful. This is all I'm saying. You are hunted by the Chromatics currently because we know that they do have a genocidal mission against you.
Well, it does seem like going back to being a dragon would only be beneficial if we are in a place where we can ride out the rest of the day as a dragon.
And that's fair. Very, very fair. Just saying, for purposes of travel and not being detected. Speaking of travel, that little trip that you took, Lunes, what is the story?
Oh, I was, here and there, and I can't, what the hell was I doing?
The druids actually asked you to come and consult on a matter specific with what they were doing. You actually teleported up to the druid lands to discuss some of how the grove is being replanted around some of the damage that has been done just with weather and that sort of thing.
Okay.
You are one of the few Circle of Stars druids, and so you are often consulted as far as that sort of thing goes to make sure that celestial alignments and the like are taken into account as they are planting trees and doing other sorts of improvement work in the groves.
Okay. So it turns out that since I'm one of the few, if not the only one, that can control, star magic, they just called me, and we are trying to build a garden again because it has suffered a lot of damage, and they call me to help and see if I can actually, do my thing. I don't know. It's weird to explain my thing because it's different from all of the druid magic. So it's more of I'm trying to help them get the growth back.
Okay, that's more than fair. Wow. I didn't. Druids are doing a great job staying secretive because I really didn't know they had this kind of network.
Yeah, apparently there's a lot of messages around, and any druid can actually look at them and figure out stuff like secret messages.
Ooh, that might come in handy. In any case, wow, that was a day. So, where from here?
We need to get the fuck out of the desert. And we need to do it quickly because I, for one, don't know where any other caves are for us to be able to avoid having our skin flayed off of our bones.
What? The desert
Oh
does
yeah.
that?
By the way, not only are there air elementals that like to try to kill you, but the air here is very mean and it will flay your fucking flesh off your bones. So unless you like being skinned alive, we need to go.
Hard pass.
Ew.
Hard pass on what part?
The flaying part.
Okay. Just making sure. Sometimes I wonder with you.
That's fair.
So we need to get back to the trees.
Well, I'm guessing that if Ertia... Did I pronounce that right? Ertia? I'm guessing that if Ertia knew where to take glory from us, she'll know where to give glory back.
I mean, I'm assuming this little effigy that was left is the beacon. If I had to take an educated guess, am I allowed to do that straight?
Sure.
Okay.
Either way, I'm keeping it.
I mean, what you do with Effigy Glory is your business, but if you're claiming that, you can go ahead and take her bedroll too.
Got you. So Robin packs up the belongings that Glory had left, puts the effigy Glory in his bag, while saying, Effigy Glory would be a great band name.
It actually sounds really good there.
Right?
You know, if Urtia were to bring her back and she reappears wherever you're storing her, that backpack's gonna get real heavy real fast.
Robin has no clue that to even prepare or plan against that. So Robin's just going to do what he's doing.
All right.
Okay.
So I take it you guys are headed out of the cave then?
Yeah, we're noping the hell out of the desert.
Okay.
Problem is I have no way of navigating at all. Last person I knew that could navigate was Glory. I don't know, Trinket, if you are capable of navigating other than from the air, and Lunez, I'm not sure if you have any tricks up your sleeve of finding the path that will lead us to Lumia as we intended.
Yeah, we're trying to get to Lumia back.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Where's the thing?
Can I assist Lunez
Sure.
in trying to figure this out?
Okay.
Because I'm sure his nature and survival is probably better than mine.
Yeah, we're looking for a survival check.
Okay, so yeah, I can actually just look at the stars. I know not a lot of people can see them at day, but I can try to figure out our way.
Tish will look up. You can still see them? Are they there?
Yeah, they're always there. We cannot see them because of the light of the sun, but they're always there.
But you can see them?
Yes.
Robin will go, careful there, Trinket. Don't stare too long.
I love this jumbo die. What is it? Survival.
Yes.
22.
Okay. So it is pretty easy for you to tell direction in the desert because you can celestially navigate during the day. So that's not a particular trouble. You're also aware that pretty much no matter where you are in the desert, if you head east long enough, you'll hit the road between Lumia and Lighttown. Lumia being essentially at the bottom southmost point on the map, and Laketown being pretty much dead center. The road between them thus, bisects the two south quadrants of the map. So as long as you head east, you'll get back to the road.
I'm guessing we're supposed to go east, and we'll eventually find the road again.
Now, you also have the opportunity, if you want to go more through the desert and head southeast and cut some time off of your trip. It will take longer to get to the road, but it will take shorter to get to Loop.
I don't know if anyone's going to suggest that, but Robin is 100% ready to shoot that idea right down.
Not unless one of us knows the patterns of how these flay storms come about, but absolutely not.
Robin was not having fun out there.
I am a squishy sorceress. I do not have very many hit points. I am not. Nope. Mm-mm.
And if it wasn't for Big Frost Breath Dragon GF, Robin would have been toast out there.
Oh, geez, what the hell happened?
Right, it was wild, my
It was
God.
bad.
So as you step out of the cave, Lunez, you can see that along with the sand and rock of the desert, you can see that there are actually streaks of glass in and amongst the sand where the storm heated things up to the point of making glass out of the sand because the winds were moving that fast. All of the rock in this area and throughout most of the desert is immaculately smooth because it's essentially constantly sandblasted by these winds.
Oh, shit. All right. Oh, I see what you mean. so it gets pretty intense here.
Like a million grit sandpaper.
Robin scans the horizon. Do we see anything coming?
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
I think
Oh,
I will
wow.
do that.
Don't you love it when your dice like stalls out on a number and then rocks back? Because mine stalled on the 18 and rocked back to the 5. Good thing my perception is +5, so that still gives a decent 10.
I have a 21.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I could do it. Okay.
So on the horizon, you can see a fair bit of sand movement and storms, but nothing that seems to be moving in your direction. So at least at the moment, you seem relatively safe to progress east and get back to the road. Southeast still also looks clear, but there are more storms further south than there are east.
All right.
Oh, then Robin very nervously pops his hood up on his cloak, and as he like traces the hem again with his fingers, it just turns into what's basically leather.
Okay. And I'll be like, there's a trick I can do to see how it's gonna be. Okay. And I just summon a tiny pupper on my hand. I'm gonna use Druidcraft to create a tiny harmless sensory effect that predicts how the weather will be at your location for the next 24 hours.
MVP Druidcraft use. I love it.
I've never used that before. It's so cool that I actually can use that now.
So the pupper on your hand pauses for a moment and looks around, starts circling around and sniffing, like staring off into the distance, and then pauses for a moment and seems to be pondering, and then taps his paw on your palm twice, and a chalkboard pops up, and he stands on his back paws and starts drawing a weather report on the board.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
That good boy. It's gonna be. How's
It looks like it will be sunny and warm for most of the day, but there will be storms probably in the next 16 to 20 hours.
Okay.
So Georgia.
So it's gonna be sunny. There's probably gonna be some storms in the next 14 hours.
Then let's get out of here.
All right. Thank you. Good boy.
And he'll disappear as well as the chalkboard as you end the spell.
That was adorable.
Thank you.
So cute.
All right, so let's hit the road, I guess. Is there anything I can do?
And we ain't coming back no more. No more. No more.
Yeah. And just go out.
All right. So it is pretty easy to head due east, and the terrain is not the easiest. Walking in sand and rock isn't ideal, but it's not actually difficult terrain, so it doesn't actually slow you down so much as just it's a little more tiring walking through it all. There are regularly streaks of glass. Some of them seem to stretch as long as 2 or 3 meters. Most of them are very thin, almost making like icicles, but of glass.
Oh, shit.
The terrain starts to gentle after about an hour or so, and it becomes a little less deserty. There's less sand and more rock. And you start to see a lot of the rock becoming a bit more rough. There's less smoothness to it as you're reaching sort of the edge of where the brewing storms ever really get. And within probably another hour or so after that, the party will spot the road up ahead, and you can see really clearly from where you're standing the pretty dramatic difference of terrain on either side of the road. On the west side, it's rocky and sandy and, outside of a desert sort of terrain. On the east side, it's a grassland. There's farmland over there. There's trees, foliage, that sort of thing. And the road pretty much seems to bisect the terrain that way.
Okay. Every now and then in the desert, I use Ray of Frost to create like a mist behind us, so we cool off a little bit.
Is that a cantrip, or are you just like?
Yeah, it's a
spell
cantrip.
slots
It's a
for our
cantrip.
AC.
It's all cantrips. It's all cantrips.
Okay.
Yep, it's pretty, it definitely helps. The weather is considerably hotter in the desert than certainly in any of the places you've been thus far. Dawn's Harbor, being a coastal city, is pretty temperate, all things considered. It would normally be fairly hot, but being right on the coast and with the rivers that go through, the moisture in the air helps cool things down a fair bit. And Lake Town being right on the lake has a lot of that same temperateness to it. And it's still spring in Utharia. We're in spring rampant at this point, coming up on spring declining. So it's warm in most of the world, but not hot. The desert, on the other hand, is decidedly hotter. Probably 20 to 30 degrees warmer than you're used to. So having the Ray of Frost definitively helps keep things cooler and keep things a little more comfortable for everyone.
Almost gonna look at Lunas and say, "You've been practicing."
Yeah.
And she's gonna throw one out there as well.
And I'm so glad that you're doing that too, because you can do that too. Yay!
Yeah, I taught you this trick.
Yes, I know, but I haven't mastered it as you, so it's good that we're actually doing it together. Oh, this is so cool.
So we'll just take turns just throwing Ray of Frost out there.
Yeah.
All right. So once you reach the road, you notice that there is some traffic on it. There are caravans that are moving north and south along the road. Nobody particularly close to you. And it seems that the traffic is a little more sporadic than it was closer to Lake Town, and certainly in between the Chancel and Lake Town. This being a longer road and skirting the desert, most of the caravans that you can see are either larger caravans that are making the trip what seems to be fairly regularly, or more hardy individual groups that are making the long journey back and forth. Where would you like to go from here?
I mean, I think we were originally set out to figure out the riddle about the next artifact, and something about the point of the spear in Lumia was our biggest lead. And I seem to recall being given a name by Bruce gave Robin a name of who to look for in Lumia as well.
Yes, you were given a name of an individual in Lumia that can potentially help a researcher that's down there.
Oh, the Guild of Arcanists?
Yes.
Guild of Arcanists.
Okay.
So yeah, I think unless anyone else has anything that they have a mind to bring up, Rob is just gonna assume that the job is to keep on the road till we hit Lumia. Lumia or bust.
I think at this point, that's all we can do. Just keep moving forward.
Is anyone hungry?
Yes.
Are there like any food stands or restaurants or anything?
I mean, unless the caravans have somebody just hanging out the back with a food truck menu or something.
Roll me a percentile die.
Okay.
What is up with our game and needing food in so many episodes? We just need the food.
It's not needing food, it's wanting food.
That's
We
what I
just like
meant.
food.
Like, we just have to put the food in the episode.
Okay, percentile. And 11.
So you can see that one of the big caravans that is a little bit ahead of you does have a chuck wagon in amongst its group. The trip between Lake Town and Lumia is several days, even with wagons and horses. Generally, they're not riding to, stress the animals or anything of that sort. So it normally takes a couple of days to get in between the cities. So most journeys involve some sort of provisions for that kind of thing. And this caravan ahead of you does have what is obviously a wagon dedicated to feeding everyone else on the caravan.
Tish will walk up to the person that seems to be in charge of the food wagon.
There is a small halfling woman that is sort of sitting in the back of the wagon, and she seems to be prepping ingredients and such. She's really remarkably good with her chef's knife, because despite the fact that the wagon is bouncing and moving on this road, which is not by any stretch of the imagination smooth and well paved, she's still chopping up vegetables, what looks like for a soup, without batting an eye, and doing it just as fast as you'd see any chef in a restaurant prepping food to do so. She looks up without pausing her work, and as she finishes chopping a carrot, scoops it up with the edge of the blade and tosses it into a bowl next to her. Can I help you, miss?
Oh, yes. We were just traveling to Lumia, and we unfortunately spent a long, sweaty, sandy night in the desert. And we were wondering if there was any way that we could possibly purchase some rations or something from you, just as a little snack to tide us over till we get to Lumia.
She ponders a moment. Well, I tell you what, we have been making pretty good time, and one of the caravan guards was able to bring back some venison last night, so we didn't need to go as much into our stores as we needed. And she ducks into the wagon a bit and starts rooting around and pulls out a sack of what looks like hardtack and jerky. Really basic, sort of, you'll survive. It's not the tastiest food ever, but it'll do. It's like we keep this just in case some of the food spoils or something like that, but we shouldn't have that problem. And they say it's good luck to help fellow travelers on the journey, so she holds out the bag to Tish. Just pay it forward, I guess.
Oh, of course. But Tish will also reach into her pouch and give the halfling woman like 5 gold.
She will return 3 of them and keep the 2
What?
gold. It's bad luck to take too much money for that.
But we're paying it forward.
Yes, to someone else in need.
But will the gold not help you?
It will be nice, but I don't need it.
Then
Paying it forward is like if you come across someone else in need of assistance, then you help them. And then you encourage them to do the same so that sooner or later, people who are in trouble are able to be taken care of and not have to worry so much.
well, we insist that you take the full amount and apply it towards your entire traveling party.
All right, I can do that.
And thank you
Sure.
for your help.
I love the wholesome arguments.
Yeah.
She'll take the gold pieces and resume chopping up what looks like a very large leek or a bok choy, some big green vegetable.
Oh god, that sounds so good.
We wish you well on your travels.
And you as well. I hope whatever you're looking for in Lumia, you find it.
We hope so too. And Tish will return to the party and call triumphantly, we got snacks.
Yeah!
And
What
we'll
we got?
produce jerky.
I'll take a jerky.
I feel like produced jerky needs to be a new home. But thank you. Like Robin will take it. Wow. Your charm does not cease to amaze, Trinket. And he goes chomping on the jerky.
Thank you so much for providing the snacks. Tish?
Of course. You always provide cookies. And I don't know, can you completely live on cookies?
It's been working for me.
Alma's gonna like glare at him.
I mean, no, I eat vegetables and everything.
Mm-hmm. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll
when
take
we
a jerky.
when we get to Lumia, we can sit down and
Have a hot meal?
yes, those are important, correct?
Yes. Also, the druids told me that I should contact a person from there. And have you ever heard of Gravik Stone Hollow?
Have we?
Give me a history check. Robin will be at disadvantage for this one.
Oh, nice. Okay. So the first roll was lower.
Let's see, what are we rolling?
History.
History.
That would be a 22.
And that would be a 16 on Robin.
And 11.
So 16 and 22 will note that Stone Hollow is a surname that is traditionally associated with the Guild of Statecraft, the diplomatic group within Lumia.
Okay.
You don't know that you've necessarily heard of Gravik specifically, but that family name at least rings a bell.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Seems
it
to
was
be a
an,
family of some influence, if I'm right. Some big name with some government pull.
Well, most likely, if we've heard of them.
yeah. But they just told me to contact this person. And they also sent out Lorwyn to the summit. So, yeah, we should probably contact him. I should probably contact Graphic or this person.
Gravik is a he, him. Lorwyn is a she, him.
Okay. Thank you.
This will be the one. So Alma, you guys will, anyone who's actually paying attention will kind of just. She's in her thoughts, and she's just going to mutter outside of her head, thinking that she's still just speaking in her head, and be like, "I wonder who Nibiri sent."
I wouldn't say something, but I don't think so.
Alma was audible, so if Lunez wants to reply, you can.
From the Beery?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't our friend, or I forgot,
Selwyn?
Cithril.
Owen.
Cithril and her sister were sent.
There we go.
Cithril. We met Cithril.
Do I know who Cithril is? I assume I do.
Yes, Tish would be familiar with Cithril as an adventurer turned guardian of the diplomatic corps after her sister fell into a run-in with some monsters and was hurt but not killed. Cithril essentially gave up on doing any sort of adventuring, and they decided that instead they would work to guard with the diplomatic corps and make sure that their sister never ran into that problem again. You also ran into Cithril in Lake Town.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I was wondering, I was like, this feels like the person we met in Lake Town.
Yes, it is.
100%.
Okay.
So at that name, Alma's going to realize that she was thinking out loud and just kind of be like, "What?
Yeah, we heard. And we met Cithril. Nobody mentioned that last session to Alma?
No."
No? Okay. Yeah, so we met Cithril in Lake Town, and they were looking for you. And they're pretty nice. They're really tall, really powerful. They were the ones that told us to possibly get some help from the Guild of Arcanists and to get the magical artifact that we're supposed to get. Do you know them?
I do. How much longer until we get to our destination?
You've probably got at least another good day's travel.
Would Tish know why Alma's being weird?
I will let Alma decide to what degree Tish knows why Alma is being weird on that. I don't know how much Alma would have shared.
I don't think Alma would have shared anything on this one.
Has Tish seen Alma and Cithril interact at all in their time in Nibiri?
Yes, you would have seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely knew each other in Nibiri. They shared classes on occasion.
Was it like amicable? Was it weird? Was there a hatred? Like,
give me a retroactive insight check.
okay. Oh That's not terrible. Let's see what my insight is. Oh, okay. An 18.
So with an 18, Tish will remember that they were definitely amicable. They were friends. And they were pretty close friends as far as that goes. You probably remember that there were rumors that they were more than that, but they were never substantiated, and neither Alma nor Cithril seemed to be at that level as far as a relationship goes. It's not there wasn't ever really any particular awkwardness while they were in Nibiru. Alma did leave Nibiru to go to Dawn's Harbor, but
it's killing me that Robo is over there like dying and about to choke on his water.
It's only because of Finn's comment in chat. In the Zoom chat.
Oh my god.
I'm being a bad child in the back of class, whispering and passing notes. Anyways.
To be known that I'm being a good role player and not paying attention. Alma's, just kind of like, do.
Alma, are you... It is very unfortunate that you missed seeing Cithril.
Sure.
What is this, Alma?
How much did they tell you?
Oh, they were good friends of yours, and they were from Nibiru, and not much after that. We told them our situation with the artifacts and the dragons, the sisters.
I voted no on that decision.
I agree.
No, you weren't there.
Oh, that's right. I wasn't there.
It was me and Gloriosa.
All right, the two of you, we're definitely going to have a chat as soon as Glory is returned. Just because somebody says that they know me does not mean that you can automatically trust them. I have not seen nor heard from Cithril in many, many years. So I don't know what they're up to these days. I don't even know if they're still the same person that they were.
Robin,
you know me.
Robin has pulled out his lute and he is like slow picking dramatic music.
Background music.
He is definitely soundtracking a telenovela as you guys have this talk right now.
Well, listen. I'm a very trusting person.
Yes,
And
I know.
y'all shouldn't left us with them, in my defense.
I didn't leave anyone anywhere.
Yes.
I had no idea that Cithril was even in the same vicinity.
I'm talking to the musician back here.
Plink.
String breaks.
And at the plink, Alma's gonna turn and look at Robin and be like,
Oh, my lute needs repair. Look at that. Shit. Okay, so... Trinket?
Yes?
Never mind. That was the wrong source of help. We had to go to the temple to make a contact. Sorry for leaving the Wide-Eyed Wonder Twins alone, but it was necessary at the moment, and let's just hope that your friend is actually a good friend.
Where was Tish during this? Because I remember meeting with Freckles' character.
We met.
So you met Cithril, and then Robin and Tish went to the temple seeking out Phaedrus.
Yeah.
While Glory and
Oh,
Lunez spent the day doing a shopping episode.
We were eating soup out of
That's
the
This
right.
is we have a
bread
spy
bowl.
in Lake Town now.
so you two noped off and left two of quite possibly our most impulsive /
Sweetly
feeding off of
optimistic.
each other members to go run around the city And how did Sethral come to be in how?
Apparently, it was en route to the
summit.
Summit. Wow, that word was outside of my head for a second. Apparently, they were en route to the summit. But we ate some fish. We had some talk. It seemed like they were in good hands, and so we set up a spy in Lake Town and came back to find out that they did their thing. So at this point, it's just get to Lumia fast and hope that your friend is a good one.
Oh, we had soup inside bread.
It's true.
So
True.
so it was
Yes, that was very good.
So think about like the bowl was actually made out of bread. So it's soup and bread. It was really good. It was really good. What?
A loaf of stew, if you would.
Yeah. So Citral was the guardian of their sister, and their sister was actually the one that was supposed to go to the summit.
That makes sense.
Okay, what is this? What's this? I mean, you know how I am, but what is this? What happened between you and Citral? Are they friends? Did I do wrong?
I'm not mad at you, Lunas. Okay. The fact that Citral is essentially here and not Elara is that's Citral's sister.
Oh, okay.
Isn't the sister here too? But
the sister was the sister was also in Lake Town, but Citral was out in the market looking around.
Oh, she was here too.
Oh, Citral and Elara are here?
Yes, they're going to the summit.
They're in Lake Town. I don't know that they're still there, but we never really met the sister.
No, we just saw Citral in the tavern.
But
if it helps, but Alma, if it helps, after they asked about you that one time, they didn't ask about you again.
They asked about me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody thought to send a message or a sending, and she darts her eyes over at Robin.
I can only do that so often.
To say, oh, hey, by the way, met somebody that you knew from Nibiru way back when.
Okay, I can only do it so often, and you know what? I'm not the secretary of the group. I can't, just pen down messages and deliver them when you come into the office in the morning. We don't even have an office anymore because, we are refugees from our hometown at the moment. And you know what? It's just, I'm glad to have you back, Alma. Things just get scary around us all the time. And I think, you know what? I think we need to have more just like heart-to-hearts around the campfire at night. Can we schedule family meetings?
I think you being in a stable relationship has made you soft, Bard. Because the Robin I used to know would have been like, oh, hey, what happened between you and Citral? And you would have been all about trying to get all the kind of dirty details you could.
Robin, you didn't tell us you were in a relationship.
Oh, no, it's awkward. It's awkward.
We'll say that nothing about anything I do is stable, gestures to Tish. And counterpoint, I died. Me being careful and cautious is just more of a side effect of my existential dread at this point.
I will leave it at this until I have a chance to actually see this person. Now that I know that they're even fucking alive!
Oh.
You didn't know Citral was alive?
Alive is the best way to be fucking.
Robin.
Reach over and flick him in the ear. It's been a very long time since I heard anything from them. I thought they were dead. So to find out secondhand that they're alive, knew I was with you, and yet still made no attempt to contact. Sent no message with any of y'all. And I'm finding out how many days later?
Like 1?
Probably closer to 2 or 3 with traffic.
Oh, okay.
3.
Has that been like...
We
This was
don't
just
know.
yesterday. No.
I'm a little baffled, to be honest, at both them and y'all. Because who do I know outside of you guys? The only other person outside of our original group fucking frostbit me this morning.
Oh.
You now know 2 people from my past. 2.
To be fair, we just didn't want to make any assumptions, and we're sorry. We're sorry you didn't know, and you were, left in the dark about your friends, but so were we. So when we met them, we just didn't want to make any unnecessary assumptions, and we're sorry. If it helps, they did seem well. They seem to be doing okay, if that's the kind of thing you were worried about, but we're sorry they didn't. We're sorry they didn't reach out to you, and we're sorry we didn't know to.
Yeah, well, if our paths cross, they'll be lucky not to get a fireball up the ass. But I'm ready to stop talking about this now.
Would you like a piece of jerky?
I would. Yes, please.
Robin has strung the lyre back by now, and he's playing what sounds like a very upbeat banjo traveling music thing.
Country road.
Akin to a legally distinct version of the Muppets Moving Right Along. A legally distinct edition.
Legally distinct.
Moving Right Along. And he's, because if that's it, Alma, then we will certainly be more inclined to tell you if we ever meet one of your acquaintances in the future. But for the time, the road is clear, and none of us are close to dying.
Yeah. Shh. And Tish will put both hands over Robin's face.
Lute's still playing. Mouth is shut, but the lute music is still going.
Robin, isn't there a thing that humanoid, not dragons, creatures, called like hinksing?
Hinksing?
Right? You don't want to hinks it.
Wait, is his mouth still covered?
Yeah, it's like.
And he just kind of like.
Don't hinks it.
His face out. It's jinxing, love. But I've always been the one to fly in the face of that knowledge. So, and he just keeps playing.
To be fair, Alma, they must have had a really good reason of what they did. And I asked them if they were dragons, and they said no.
Yes, that's apparently a question they all just ask people now.
Yeah, Glorious and I are kind of asking people if they're dragons first.
So about those family meetings.
I mean, that tracks. Look.
What the
I got
fuck
caught
did
off
I do?
guard. That is a name I have not heard in very, very many years. My frustration is not at you guys. Little curious because you guys like to try and figure out my past.
Yeah, Robin wasn't there most of the time.
Fair. But
Which, by the way, what did you find out at the temple? I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
nope. Change the subject. I'm good with that. Robin.
Oh yeah, remember the guy you almost killed? Lunes?
Yes.
The one you magic missiled right in the face.
Yes. I
Okay.
did.
You.
Um,
Wow, he looked really good for you magic missiling him in the face.
Damn it.
he got healed pretty soon after. Well, he's turned his life around and devoted himself to Otrix.
Who?
Or Otrix?
Otrix is the
Yes.
goddess of life and death.
Oh, did I know that? Strike?
Probably.
We
Okay.
probably would have all known that. That was who the temple was to in Lake Town. But anyways, he's devoted himself to Otrix and seems to not like the whole plundering and pillaging, more the healing and helping path now. But since I knew he had come to Lake Town after we parted ways, I really expected him to go become a fighter for some coin. And I thought that would be a good contact to have. Turns out he didn't follow my advice.
Does anyone follow your advice?
That's
Seldom.
very true.
And went into the healing and charity profession. However, that does position him to hear a lot of news about town. And he did say that he would keep an ear to the ground for us. So, we have a contact in Lake Town. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I respect your skepticism. However, we have something we can use that's not too close to harm.
Okay.
Back to banjo music. I like to think that Robin has the ability to make this lute sound like basically any stringed instrument.
More or less.
It's a pocket-sized lute. I feel like you can do a lot with it.
Hey, that's what she said.
Ding 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 ding.
Anyway, let's just go.
Ow.
Thank you for the jerky. Hey, Lunas.
Yeah.
¿Puedo tomar una galleta?
Yep. I'll give you a cookie.
Thank you.
Google Meet thought you said tomato.
Google Meet wasn't the only one.
Google Meet does struggle.
All right. Anybody want a cookie? Cookie?
If you're handing them out,
All right. Orion, do you want a cookie?
Robin forgot that rabbit was there. And as soon as
I've
Orion,
been holding Orion like this the whole
have
time.
you been holding Orion, or did Orion just like skitter up to you when you called him?
Yeah, I've been holding Orion the whole time.
Okay. As soon as like Orion like pops his head out at your summons, there's like a weird jank and plank from the music as Robin stumbles and then recovers himself. As okay, yeah, that's right, everything's good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
All right.
y'all missed the text I sent Finn yesterday.
Okay.
But anyways, I'll send that later in our Discord chat.
Basically, in game and out of game, any appearance of a bunny is just a way to poke
Mess
at me
with-
now.
All right. Well, I think at this point we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. It's a little bit early, but this is a good stopping point. So we are going to hop off. It is 1:25 in the afternoon on the East Coast. So we are going to shoot to be back in about 15 minutes, so 20 to the hour. And we will be right back. Go take a break, use the restroom, get some water, take care of yourselves, and we will return. The other, and that way I can feel a little better about myself and just keep going, just keep going. Okay, we can do this. I can vamp. I know how this goes.
Just
There
start
we
it
go.
over.
Just start it over?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody.
I love us.
Thank you for sticking with us over the break. I hope you got up, stretched, got some water and food, got everything taken care of. We are back with Sunday Brunch Club presents Utharian Legends. And we are picking up right where we left off. So if you are just tuning in, we opened up with the party having hidden in a cave from a terrible storm in the desert, swapped out Glory and Lunes into party dynamic there, just went into the menu and swapped active party members, which is basically what Urtia is doing pretty much all the time anyway. And they made it out of the desert back onto the road, were able to have some food, and as they were headed south, discovered that no one had actually let Alma know that a figure from her past had shown up and asked about her. So there was some discussion as far as that goes.
Oops.
Oopsie poopsie.
So the thought of family dinner time therapy has been brought up, and I would not be surprised if that happens.
Y'all, if it takes me to suggest we need therapy, we are in trouble.
Yeah, that is fair. So we are going to pick back up with our party headed south on the road towards Lumia. And unless anyone has any objections, we're going to sort of travel on ahead and speed time a bit so that we can actually get to our destination and not spend a whole episode literally on the road. So after most of a day's travel, the party crests over a bit of a rise in the road itself and are able to see Lumia. Now, this is the capital of the dwarven country. It is a major city, a huge beacon for trade, a major source of metals, ores, gems, and the like. And for those of you who have not been to Lumia, it will probably strike you as a little bit odd. The city that you see as you come over the rise appears to be about 6 smallish buildings, each about 1 story tall. None of them particularly much larger than half a dozen rooms at best, sort of scatter around what looks like I want to say a platform, but more of a big stage where you might see people perform in like a town square sort of thing. It's raised up off of the ground, but only by a foot or so. And there are, stairs on all sides that lead up to it, steps that go up to it. And there are people milling about and caravans that are headed that direction. The city, though, is basically just that you can see.
All right, so looking around, Robin is looking for any kind of signage that will tell him or tell any of us where to go and what to avoid. Do we see any signage for the Guild of Arcanists, Do we see any signage for the guild, the Statecraft Guild? What was that one called again?
The Guild of Statecraft, yes.
Okay, so anything that would indicate the Guild of Arcanists, the Guild of Statecraft, or is Shafsaka itself a guild?
No, they're an individual.
Okay, so he's also looking for any signage that would indicate Shafsaka offices, the company that owns the warehouse we blew up.
So there are a couple of signs that are on some of these buildings. One of them is literally labeled a welcome center, and one of them is customs. Other than that, there doesn't appear to be a whole lot of signage on any of these buildings. And it's not really, there's not enough room for a lot of the things you imagine a city like this having.
Tish has been to Lumia before, right?
You let me know.
I would assume in all of Tish's travels that there has been at least a stop or two in Lumia.
That's fair.
Is this since it's a dwarven based city, is this the actual town, or is there some place that leads to a more populated version?
So those who have been to Lumia itself will know that the big platform actually opens up, and the vast majority of the city is underground. This is right on a cliff's edge to the south, and the cliffs themselves are literally several miles above sea level at this point. Lumia stretches not entirely down to sea level as far as population center goes, though there are definitely tunnels that go to sea level and even further down that are mining tunnels and that sort of thing. But the vast majority of the city is underground rather than above it.
All right, so what we're gonna do? Let's find these people and go directly to the Guild of Arcanists. Okay, so we got go to the Guild of Arcanists, then meet the person the druids wanted me to contact, or 3, which is wander about in the city.
Ooh, wandering around sounds like the most dangerous option, even if it does sound like the most fun option.
Well, would you all like to get some food?
Always with Tish. Tish is Goku. Like, here we go, out of game. Confirmed. Tish is Goku.
Confirmed.
Hold it.
Food would be good for sure, but in order of priority, and I ask you because I'm not sure. Do we know if the druid's mission for you, Lunez, is more urgent than our search for the artifact? Because we don't know how close or how far ahead we are of the chromatics in the search for the artifacts, but did the druids give you any notion of the urgency for finding Stone
Hollow?
Stone Hollow.
Do I know how the priority of this mission is, Strike?
I mean, it's entirely up to all of you. There's obviously a timetable as far as your progress in searching out these artifacts versus the progress of the dragons. That said, whether you want to pursue those artifacts by going directly to information sources and just beelining it as much as you can, whether you want to explore the city some and see if you find anything that way, there are lots of different ways that this can all work.
That's very true. No, they didn't say how top, how how high in the priority levels this mission was. But what we can do is go eat something, and then go directly to the Guild of Arcanists and just find out where the artifact or whatever we can find about the artifact, and just if we have time, or we can just ask around about Stone Hollow. Does anybody speak Dwarven? Dwarvish?
That is a no for Robin.
Nope. The
Alma
elf does.
So does Gloriosa, for the record.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask if Glorious. Okay, all right. So
Best not to split up if we only have one interpreter then.
No, I think if you think about it, who's gonna a conglomeration or a packed in group of locals would be at a tavern where we can go get some food. I could really use a drink. And maybe a meat pie.
You all just think that I am food obsessed.
No.
All of you need to eat more than we do.
I think you're just more you're less inhibited to say it. You're less inhibited to ask for food than the rest of us. So, you know what?
But Robin would also know that Tish 100% loves discovering yummy food.
Oh, yeah. So, I trust.
But I think as far as getting pointed in the right directions of where we're going and who we should probably talk to, that's a good place to start. Because let's face it, if we don't get to these artifacts, there will be no mission for the druids.
Okay, well then I trust your stomach, Tish, and your wisdom, Lunez, and your gumption, Alma. Let's go eat and then find some arcanists.
Oh, before we do, I actually want to cast something. And I just looked at Lunas pulls up his sleeve, and there's writing all over his arm, and it's runes. It's runes, and it's a magic spell. So I'll just cast comprehend languages.
Nice.
On myself, and it's for 1 hour. And as a ritual, I'm gonna add. And this time, you don't see any type of druid magic around me. It's all arcane. It's all arcane magic.
Lunez,
Yeah.
when did you get a tattoo?
Oh, it's not a tattoo, and I just scribble on it, and it comes out like the ink of it comes out. It's not a tattoo.
Okay.
Is your spell book just writing notes on yourself?
No, this was actually backstory stuff. That this was the first spell that Lunas learned because he couldn't communicate with Alma.
That's
Big
right.
Hearts. Big hearts. I love this.
And so I cast my spell, and it's for 1 hour, and I can understand any spoken language that you hear, that I hear.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
All right.
What are our food options, DM?
So, up above ground, there are not a ton of food options at this juncture. There are a couple of wagons that clearly have some food that you can probably hit up and ask, like Tish did earlier. If you're looking for actual taverns and places to get, a hot cooked meal, those will all be in the city proper.
Let's go there.
Tish will start walking towards the platform.
So as you get a little closer to the platform, it becomes obvious that it is open in the center, and there are stairs as well as ramps on either side that move down into the city itself. just off to the side, there is what looks to be what is essentially a magical freight elevator for moving large goods or full wagons down into the city itself. For individuals, the stairs and ramps are recommended as far as getting in and out of the city itself. The stairs go down probably a good 75 to 100 feet before reaching even the first level of the city itself. And that first level, the most immediate sensory change when the party reaches that first landing is a waft of scent of very different food smells that come through. There are sweet smells, there are savory smells, there are spicy smells, and they're all wafting through the air once you reach that first level, as this is sort of where a lot of tourists and visitors to the city begin. This is where a lot of the inns and taverns and that sort of thing can be found. As far as the options that you've got, there are a few different inns and taverns that advertise pretty openly as far as sort of visitors go. For those that have been to Lumia before, dwarven cuisine is interesting and uses a lot more mushrooms and other things that can be easily grown in caves than a lot of other places do. And there is in particular a specific mushroom that is used in a lot of dwarven cuisine that enhances and brings out flavors in food that would otherwise be difficult, if not impossible, for most non-dwarven palates to experience. So most places will either cater to largely dwarven clientele, where it's assumed that either you don't want those experiences or you're sort of already prepared to have them. And then there are more tourist and non-local places that have both the kinds of food that you would expect to see in basically any large city, and for those dwarven specialties, provide the extra mushrooms that will allow you to really experience the flavor as opposed to just having something that kind of tastes like rocks. As far as names and such goes, there is an inn that is sort of off in the corner of the carved out level of the city, called the Triangular Snapdragon, that often caters to visitors and adventurers that pass through and advertises a full menu both for locals and non-locals. There is a tavern that does not let rooms called the Thundering Gang Pub that has a image of a large hammer crashing against a plate that serves a bunch of different kinds of food. And the third one that you will easily see as far as taverns and such goes is the infamous Raven, which has a depiction of a raven that is sitting atop a book. It's part of Lumia sort of lore that at one point when the guilds were trying to make a decision and there was a lot of contestation between it, a raven of all things flew in to the guild chamber, which is several levels below the one you're on now, so no one can quite figure out how a raven showed up in the first place, and landed on a otherwise forgotten tome, opened it, and started leafing through pages until it found one, and then it sat on it. When the guildsmen and diplomats went over to check the book, it actually had a passage right on that page that was particularly relevant to their discussion and allowed everyone to come to a consensus and make a decision. And since then, the raven has been a symbol in Lumia of sort of surprise intuition, the sort of knowledge that you didn't really realize you had, but was really there all along.
Love that.
Yeah. That's so good.
Where do y'all want to go?
I mean, what smells good? Is that? I think it's coming. I don't know. I mean, the raven looks fancy. And do we have any money? No.
Yeah, does the raven look like maybe out of our price range? Are we balling on a budget here?
The raven looks sort of mid-range as far as they go. The snapdragon is probably the priciest looking of all of them, but the raven caters to more of a tourist sort of bent, the sort of place that would be not unlike the Billy Goat Tavern in Chicago is another one that would be a good example of it. It's pricier than it probably should be based on what it's serving, because there's name recognition and it's, oh yeah, that's the place you go. Cafe du Monde in New Orleans would be another good example. Like, are you to a degree paying for the brand more than you are for the food? Absolutely. But it's also going to be pretty consistent and not out of reach of a whole lot of people. The Snapdragon, on the other hand, seems to be a little bit more high-end. The Thunderous Gang is definitely the lower end of the three. It doesn't look rough per se, but it is definitely the sort of place where you get tavern food and an ale, and you don't pay a whole lot more than what you would expect for that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Hear me out. Hear me out. From my days of pulling contract work, what was that third one you just said, DM? The third place?
Thunderous Gang.
The Thunderous Gang looks like the place I would go if I was hunting a bounty. The Raven looks like the place I would go if I was trying to keep my ear to the ground on trade deals. However, if we're looking for the ruling class of the city, especially the guild leaders, Snapdragon might be our best bet.
Then let's do that.
But we're looking for artifacts that are also being sought by dragons. So it would be prudent to also consider the fact that the dragon hench peoples might also be at this other establishment.
Have we known the chromatics to give a lot of information to their underlings?
That's where their underlings will be.
Do they have underlings?
And you'll see like the tip of Alma's hair just kind of like flash red for a second.
What's happening? So the Raven is more the IHOP of places.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for your out-of-towners.
Yeah, it's the outer towners, but it's pricier for.
Then the Brawling Place, which is
Okay.
your,
Waffle House.
Waffle
A
House.
Waffle House.
God.
Oh, God.
Yep.
So we can try and go to the.
Look, I'm voting the equivalent of the biker bar over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say the bike
Sure.
bar.
Works for me. Keep our ear to the ground.
We've
All
done
right.
worse, I'm sure.
And there's
The-
nowhere lower to the ground than that bar over there. So
We can only go up from here. Literally.
I mean, we're
Actually-
subterranean in the first place.
Actually, we can still go down pretty far.
What?
We
It's an underground city.
It is. Trinket. We were talking about social status.
Oh,
Okay. It's all right. We don't need. No. Let's just go.
You're fine.
This-
Bar time.
What kind of underground city? And as we go along, just
Dwarven.
asking.
Dwarf.
Oh. Okay.
So we're going in.
Yeah.
All right.
Robin is not leading the way because Robin doesn't know Dwarvish, and
Alma will.
we know that Alma and Lunas do.
Alma will lead the way.
So the tavern itself, when you open it up, has almost a wall of sound that comes through the door when it opens. It's a lot of talking and a lot of carousing. There's a lot of high voices, but it isn't a sound of people that are angry or upset so much as people that are at most blowing off steam after a day.
it's just a loud bar.
Yeah, just a loud bar sort of thing. The barkeep is an older male dwarf that is sort of moving around, and there are a number of others that are seated at various tables. There are half a dozen waitstaff moving around, and a female human with thin auburn hair and green eyes and sort of an angular face sort of puts a tray and kind of folds it up on her hip and walks over to you and does the almost immediate and instinctive up and down look of sizing up the group and gives a weary but fairly genuine smile and says, "Welcome to Thunderous, gang. Were you looking for a table?"
Yes, please. Although Alma's gonna find it very funny that that a human is sizing her up because of how tall she is. Yes, please.
I think we've got one somewhat near the fire pit, if that's all right.
Perfect.
Just follow me. Mind your step. Some of the nuts get tossed onto the ground, so watch your step.
Crash. You just hear. Oh.
Is this whole conversation happening in Dwarven or Common?
Common.
Okay.
Much of the conversation in the tavern itself is in common. There are obviously smatterings of other languages floating around. There's distinctly Dwarven. There's at least one table where there's an argument happening in Elvish. It's the kind of quiet argument that it's more of it's the sort of thing that the Guinness Book of World Records was designed to settle. No, this was the first person. No, you're wrong. It was this person sort of argument, not a actual one that is concerning as far as that goes. There's even one table with what appears to be a Goliath talking to a smattering of other races, including a Dragonborn that is happening entirely in Giant.
I would love to learn more about them. Though that group sounds awesome.
The table that the waitress leads you all to is a little bit bigger than the table that you're used to at the Cross Keys, but it's circular as opposed to rectangular. And there are a number of sturdy chairs that appear to have a wood back but a stone base to be a little bit sturdier. They're a little heavier as a result, but even still, they don't seem overly difficult to move, even for those of you that are not particularly high strength.
Jeez.
And once everyone takes their seat, the waitress sort of tips the tray that she's carrying back up onto her hip and looks at everyone and says, "Is there something I can get you to drink?"
Do you by any chance have hot cocoa?
I don't know that we have any ready, but I think we can make you some drinking chocolate. We should have some chocolate left. Yes, we do, because we did the cheesecake with the chocolate drizzle on it last week. So
what?
yeah, we should.
Yeah, I'll take one of those.
I'm not sure how much cheesecake we have left, but I'll see what we can find in the back.
Thank you. And I'll just keep my ears open for anything artifact related or mystical objects or something like that.
Okay.
And I can understand any language that
Yep.
I hear.
Do you have any dark ale?
Yes, we have a fairly wide variety of ales. Some are from local breweries, some are from a bit further afield. How potent do you like it?
Mid-range.
Okay. We
Not
can
looking
make
to
that.
become incapacitated, but also not wanting to remain entirely sober.
That's fair. And for the other lady?
Tish will
Tish.
realize that the waitress is speaking to them. Oh. Anything is fine.
Alma will look at her and say, bring 2 of what I'm getting.
Perfect. And for the gentleman?
A half pour of what would be the dwarf? Scotch means Scotland, so we're in Utharian.
It's a whiskey.
Yes, just a half pour of whiskey. Half pour of dwarven whiskey.
Certainly. And I know that your friend here wanted some cheesecake. Is there food that you all would like?
Yes. Do you have what's on the menu for tonight?
Well, tonight, as far as what we have, we've got a roasted pork and dried artichoke dish. We have some boiled salmon that has come in off of the coast. And then we have some veal with chestnut bread. We also have a charcuterie plate for those that are having trouble deciding as far as all that goes. And we also have some salad and some greeneries. If you're looking for something more of the dwarven speciality, we do have a one of the specialties of Lumia is it roughly translates to inspiration dish, which is a number of different mushrooms that are grown locally in a braised brown sauce. You will need to have the taster mushroom to get the most out of it. Otherwise, it tastes kind of bland.
Inspiration
That.
with the fun taste fungus.
That.
Yeah, I would love
But
that.
also, and Tish will lean over to Robin. Robin, what's a sure, whatever that word was, the board?
That is called a charcuterie board, and it is delicious.
Robin, do not lie to her. Them.
I will raise the question of if Alma was even able to hear that, because Robin was trying to subtly plant this seed.
Go ahead and roll me deception, Robin. And Alma, you can roll perception.
Man, my deception's so high, you guys don't even know.
Wow, it's like you're a bard or something.
Yeah.
I'm hard or something. I hate that the dice just tried to screw me just now, but it comes to a 17.
18.
Oh, the dice
Thank
did
God
it.
for that +4.
You see, you got a +4, I got a +11, and you still won the roll. Fair enough. That's the universe telling Robin none of your bullshit today. So yeah, when he is corrected by Alma, he'll say, charcuterie. Think a lot of bread and cheese.
Ooh.
A little bit of meat.
Ooh. We would like one of those too.
Alma, do mushrooms count as vegetables?
Mom, can I have some?
Eat what you like, Lunas. If that's
I'll
what you
have a
want to try.
mushroom thing, please.
All right, so that's 3 inspirations with the taster mushroom, a charcuterie plate, and
I'm gonna do the roasted pork, please.
roast pork. I'll be back out with it in a minute. And she sort of swoops off back out into the crowd, picking up empty glasses and mugs as she moves through before heading towards the back. The conversations in and around your table are largely mundane sorts of things, though there are a couple of dwarves at one of the tables that are discussing in Dwarvish whether or not the council should have sent the Guild of Statecraft to this summit, or if perhaps another guild would have been better. And they're sort of debating the merits of who to send to this mysterious summit that Dawn's Harbor has called for. Whether the guild of the armory, the sort of soldiering armory sort of guild should have been sent, whether the Guild of Arcanists should have been sent because it was dealing with, dragons or some such nonsense. There was some talk that Lumia shouldn't have sent anyone at all, that they shouldn't be back and forth as far as humans and theirs go, that if this is to be a proper summit of the powers of Utharia, then the Chancel should have called for it and not just this human queen. The Goliath's table, since I know that humans will probably listen to see what that conversation is, and is in Giant, they're discussing a possible adventure down into some of the lowest levels of Lumia. The deepest levels that are used for mining often have to be cleared out as far as monsters and other such things go. And it's not uncommon for adventurers to be hired in Lumia to do just that. Depending on an adventuring party's strength and skill will depend a lot on just how deep into these tunnels they're capable of going and what sorts of dangers they can handle. But given that there's a constant need for ores and gems and all of that, it's pretty consistent work for adventuring parties, and a lot of locals will get their start in an adventuring career by doing some of that sort of work and sort of warming up with, all right, well, we're going to go down this tunnel and make sure that there are no beasties in it and deal with it.
All right. I'll relay everything that I hear from across the tables. Do we, as a group, have like a special language or sign language that we established like long ago to communicate with each other, or no?
I think it was just the constant finger guns of message.
Right. So those of us that have message have always just been finger gunning, and that I think that's the signal that the rest of the group would have picked up on by now. It means that there's a silent talk going on. Got
it. So yeah, I'll just relay everything via telepathy to everyone, so nobody hears that I'm hearing their conversations.
Okay. All right. Can you group chat telepathy, or do you have to?
No, I'll just do one by one.
Got it. That makes sense.
But I just finger guns. So I go boop, boop, boop.
Yep. So we just I we all sit and wait our turn because we realize you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if I'm correct, no new information that we didn't know got put forth in that one conversation about the summit. Just the idea of the local feelings about it.
Yeah, pretty much. No one that is speaking as far as the summit goes seems to be the sort that is in any kind of decision making. It's a lot of armchair quarterbacking of the council's decision as far as what they were doing.
But and they were arguing about which guild should have been sent. Forgive me if I didn't catch if you said which guild was sent.
The Guild of Statecraft was sent.
Okay. All right, then Robin will finger gun back to Lunez first and say Statecraft does seem closest to events currently. I don't know if that means they're closest to the artifacts we're searching for. But then again, if you say that there's extra trouble brewing in the dungeons, there could be a reason someone's stirring that up.
Yeah.
Random surges of monsters aren't unheard of, but lately I don't think we could see anything as a coincidence.
I guess it would help. And also we could go deeper into Lumia and maybe find out something.
Open doors, gain respect, loosen lips.
Sure. Yeah.
I
So
don't
I'll
know
just...
I don't know if Luna's picked up on the like subtle nuances of all those things that Robin just said.
No,
Do we have our drinks yet?
She does come back after a few minutes and brings everyone's drinks, including the hot chocolate. She also has the cheesecake for Lunez. It looks like it was a fairly standard plain cheesecake, but it has berries and then drizzled chocolate over it. And she also brings the charcuterie board, which has a number of different sausages, several different kinds of cheese, and then a rasher of bread sort of off to the side for those who want to use it. There's also a small little ramekin that has what appears to be butter.
Alma's gonna yoink a piece of bread off of the charcuterie plate. She's gonna nibble on it, and then she's gonna take a drink of her ale, and just kind of like under her breath, just kind of say, "Anything you would like to share with the class, guys?"
Robin then, in succession, finger guns both Alma and Tish to say, well, sounds like if we're going to go looks like it's statecraft if we want to find out more about the summit. I don't know that the Arcanists aren't still the best choice for artifacts, but clearing out the dungeons might give us more information about how to make inroads in the city, as well as maybe finding out if the new wave of monster menace is a coincidence.
She will finger guns back.
Wow,
Because
we just have message?
I have messages a cantrip, yeah.
I didn't realize that everyone has some version of cantrip except for Tish.
Dude.
Tish
Not.
respond
So
though.
I'm not a magic user.
Oh, no.
Technically.
Respond.
Clearly, you're going to have to pick up Mage Initiate feat at your next level and do that.
We
Yeah,
are
no,
just
no, nobody.
a Spider-Man meme that's just
Hey.
It's okay. Until Tish is spoken to, there's just like existential crisis of what to start eating on this charcuterie plate.
Oh my god, yeah.
Before she starts talking to everyone else, she's gonna be like, put some of the butter on your bread first and try that, and then she'll cast a message and say, I mean, we are looking for an ancient artifact, which probably would be most logical to look underground for if it's here. I don't imagine it would be in plain sight.
Mines are decent hiding places.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on how long it's been down there, too.
And that might be because there's more a search of monsters there. Maybe the dragons are trying to protect it or sending people to hunt it.
Only one way to find out.
She takes a big ol'... So we're dungeon crawling then, I guess.
I think we figured out what we are most curious about, even if we don't know which way's the right way to go.
Yeah.
Butter.
Tish has officially discovered butter today.
Yes.
Loving it.
You just want
This
D&D.
is what keeps bringing her back to the cultural world is food, honestly. And a couple of interesting people.
Well, admittedly, I did consult with the gluttonous geek herself on specifically Lumian cuisine. So
Love it.
Love to the gluttonous geek. Okay, so... Or gluttonous, not glutinous. Jesus. Sorry, the dietitian's coming out in me.
Sometimes I'm sure she can be glutinous, because, breads.
Bread is black. Anyway, so she's gonna, I guess, do something that's not really Alma, but then again, looks like we're going back into a different season with her. So the tips of her hair are now staying red. She'll pick it up and say, pick up her mug and say, to a new adventure, and hold it up.
To a new adventure.
To look at Robin.
Robin lifts his, this is much more close to a Scotch glass, but even though it's a coffee mug, Robin
the Tommy mug.
Yep, this is the Tommy mug. I got it. And so he'll raise his Scotch glass and let's try not to die this time.
I agree with that.
Agreed.
Clink, did Tish run off to go find something to clink?
I have no idea.
They just went.
Hopefully,
I wouldn't put it past her.
Well, at this prospect that we're actually going into some mortal danger again. After the clink, Robin just, instead of slow sipping his whiskey like he has been, he just takes the rest of it. Just goes ahead and.
So,
And in that case, out loud that now he's done with the message, because if we're just another set of adventurers going into a dungeon at this point, or going into a mine. So he's out loud. In that case, I don't want to go anywhere without our cannon queen. So I say we do not go underground until we have the boom boom badass back with us again. And while we are waiting, let's not waste our time. We're a little light on gear.
The red is going to start creeping up halfway up her ponytail. She's going to down her ale and just say, I agree. We can do that. But when's the last time we let loose and just drank?
Robin kind of...
We have never gotten to party drink with any of you.
No. Tish, you and I did, but it's been a very, very, very long time. Do you remember the campfire night back in Nibiri?
Oh, yes.
So...
Wasn't that the night we
Alma's gonna go ahead
discovered?
and- So the red's up to here now.
Oh, nice.
Alma, wasn't that the night we discovered ale? We discovered ale?
Yes.
You introduced us to ale, remember?
I did introduce you to ale. And both of you were hilarious.
Now I'm picturing a drunk Echo walking around the place. What the
There
hell?
was a drunk
Yeah.
echo walking around the place.
Right.
But like early day Echo. Like
So so Alma's actually gonna flag down their waitress,
Okay.
and I'm sure it's very strange for this waitress to see like icy purple and then like red and orange and yellow on the bottom.
She definitely gives it a second glance, but doesn't say anything specifically.
You're one of those hair change Barbies when you get them in warm and cold water right now.
The more drunk she gets, the more red it becomes. My dear, may we have another round, please?
Of course, and your meals should be out with it. Give me just a moment.
Fantastic, thank you so much.
And
Okay.
she'll dart off and will return momentarily with another round of drinks for everyone, and then the roast pork for Alma, and then 3 dishes of mushrooms in a brown sauce. And beside each of those plates, there is a small, it looks a lot like a button mushroom, but it is white with speckles of gold and silver in its cap. And she sets them down. Have all of you had the tasting mushroom before?
No.
Never.
So the tasting mushroom itself isn't going to taste like a whole lot. Some people find the texture a little bit off-putting. It just depends on how much you like mushrooms. But eat that, give it a good minute to sort of take effect before you have the dish for best effect. And if at any point your feet start to tingle, let me know. Some people have been allergic to some of these mushrooms in the past, so...
Okay then.
Okay, 5-point strike about to get turned.
Yep.
Let's go.
Alma is gonna kind of. Where is your lavatory?
Oh, we actually have one of the new mechanical ones in the back. If you head towards the bar and go left, you'll find it. It's really kind of odd. I'm not sure that I like it, but hopefully it will work well for you.
I appreciate that. And she is going to excuse herself and go to the lavatory.
Waitress.
Yes?
We just realized we didn't ask for your name. What was your name?
Enel.
Oh. Is no particular reason to ask, but just in case. You never know. How are these mushrooms for dragons?
Draconic lineage individuals.
Oh, I know that there are plenty of Dragonborn that enjoy them. I've never found any particular commonality among people that have an allergic reaction to it. Like it doesn't seem to be one particular race or hometown or anything as far as that goes. The last time anybody had a reaction to it, their feet started to tingle, and then they kind of fell over into a really deep sleep. As far as I know, nothing untoward happened beyond that, although I think one of their party members may have painted on their face while they were napping. But no one has ever been harmed by it. But I know that sometimes people have a different reaction to things, so I try to point it out, especially for people who are new to it.
Okay,
What are,
thank you.
what are the different whiskeys that they serve in Utharia? Whereas we have like rye, bourbon, scotch. Kind of.
So most of the same grains on Earth are found in Utharia, so a lot of the same sorts of whiskeys can be found. The dwarves have a couple of different methods by which they make whiskey, similar to the way bourbon versus scotch and that sort of thing sort of differs as far as the making of it goes. This particular establishment has sort of 3 and they're more or less tiers, whiskey-wise, as far as that goes. There are the lowest level, which is what she brought you, is a fairly basic whiskey. Smooth, nothing particularly to write home about. The two above that are prepared a little bit differently. The first one has a little bit of water added to it because it's a little bit thicker. And the top shelf whiskey in particular is generally served with chilled stone placed in the glass to help it go down a little bit easier. It's apparently a very smooth drink, but it also is a very potent one. It's probably about double the strength of a regular whiskey.
Then Robin will order one shot of what would that top tier be called if he was ordering it?
That one is going to be called. That will be a Wolfa, after the family of dwarves that particularly makes that style of whiskey.
All right, then Robin will order a pint of porter if you've got it, and a shot of Wolfa.
Absolutely, can do.
Alma is going to return to the table.
Ah,
Oh, hello, Summer.
We're back.
you're back.
Robin raises one eyebrow, looks at her hair. I'm guessing Alma still hasn't eaten the tasting mushroom that was given.
Alma didn't get a tasting mushroom. She
I didn't
got
get
Oh,
pork.
that's right. He'll look at Alma, look back at the tasting mushroom that he hasn't eaten yet, and do I need to stay sober for you?
Why?
Your hair reminds me
A
of
fireballs?
the shining light of the ports after dark.
Oh. Where's your sense of adventure?
Tish,
Drink.
like he closes his eyes, just Tish.
Yes.
Don't let Alma break anything. And he pops the mushroom.
Okay.
Before we actually start drinking, should we go to our giant friends and ask them that we are interested in going with them, or if they want to need help with something?
Did we establish that they are part of a particular expedition, or that they were going to some kind of office to inquire about that expedition?
So the Guild of Delvers handles most of those sorts of expeditions. They've mentioned that particular guild office. It's down on the 3rd level. And that seems to be where most people obtain contracts to go into the mines for that purpose. It's also the guild that handles the mapping of most of the caverns and tunnels. So.
Well, you know what, Moonchild? If you think making friends with the Goliath and their compatriots would help us get into the mines, I think you're the best at making friends among us. I say, if you want to go make friends, go make friends. And he'll look over at Alma and say, and we'll be right here watching.
Okay.
It is okay. We cannot technically get drunk.
No.
I mean, sad.
Let's.
Catching myself on my ableist language and correcting it. Sad.
All right, I'm gonna go here. And I just walked up to them. Hello, My name is Lunes, and I actually kind of overheard you that you are needing some help in the mines or something, and we want to help if you can. I mean, would you like a cookie?
The Goliath sort of turns to look at you as you come up, and the conversation around the table kind of quiets down. The Goliath hears your name and sees the offer of a cookie, and their eyes kind of widen a little bit. They'll graciously take the cookie and look at you, and then look over at your table. You're Lunes Velasco?
Yeah. You know of us? Or me? Of us? Me?
I mean, you're part of 5 Point Strike, aren't you?
Yes.
Is only Lunas understanding this right now?
Yeah, he's speaking in giant.
Okay.
Lunas is the only one that has comprehend languages going on, so.
Yeah.
Is it true that your group fought dragons?
Yes, we did.
Well, if 5 Point Strike wants to help with a run, we could probably go even deeper than we originally thought.
Mm-hmm.
Help with a what?
Help with a run.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you all been to the Delvers Guild yet?
No. We just got here, and we got literally here to this tavern, and I heard you talking about that, and I was offering, we kind of offering our help. But please don't say that we're 5 Point Strike. Like, we're kind of doing the down, not, just don't.
Oh, gotcha. Sure. Well, you'll have to register with the guild to go into the mines.
Okay.
Just for licensing and such. But afterwards, if you want to team up, can find us. We are currently staying at what's the name of that inn? And the Goliath starts like snapping their fingers and trying to recall, and an elf that is sitting at the table, looks like a wood elf, pipes up. Isn't it the rapier? And the Goliath suddenly nods and just, yes, the giant's rapier. It's on the 4th level. It's down in more of the guild district.
Okay, and what should we do there? Like,
well, if you're looking to find us, you can find us at the inn we're staying at.
okay. What's your name?
My name? Well, I don't know if it really translates, but Kuag is probably the closest way to pronounce it.
Kuag. Nice to meet you. And
Keurig.
nice to meet you. And I just put, like, how many people are here?
At that table, there are 6.
6. Okay, so I just grabbed 6 cookies and I just put them on the edge of the table. Here's a cookie for all of you, and we would like to work together. And thank you so much for your help, and we'll see you later.
The Goliath will nod at you, Kuag, and then looks around, and there's a bit of a buzz at the table, the sort of thing that you will often see when somebody has met a celebrity, and they're trying very hard not to make a big deal about it, but it's a really exciting sort of thing.
Okay. Lunas is just doesn't notice the celebrity thing. So thank you, and I just walk back to 5-point strike, drunk point strike, and just relay all that I heard, and just say they know who we are. I think it's catching up to us that 5-point strike fought dragons.
Well, we did do that. Alma's gonna hold her ale and kind of keep glancing at the table with the elves.
And Robin's going to take the shot of Wolfa. He's going to hold it over the ale. They called this an anchor drop. Boom. And he drops the shot into the ale and just shotguns it.
Nice. Alma's gonna look over to the table with the elves and in Elvish say, "Can I help you with something?"
The two elves, it's one man and one woman, sort of pause and look over. The man opens his mouth to say something and then almost yelps as the woman kicks him under the table. And she sort of shakes her head and says, No, we just thought your hair looked lovely.
Alma's gonna smirk like she just like I just did. Okay. I don't bite hard. So, if you have a question, just ask.
It's her fingers you got to look out for.
Shut up.
At that comment, the man looks over at the woman with an odd sort of look on his face and gets kicked again, harder. And she's like, "No, we're good. In fact, we were just getting finished up here." And she sets some coins on the table and doesn't quite drag him out of the establishment, but sort of takes him by the arm and gently leads him towards the exit.
Alma's gonna cast a message at him.
Okay.
I'm easy to spot. Find me later if you need to talk. You clearly want to say something. And she's gonna smirk. Raise her glass. Have a great evening.
The man nods in your direction, and he seems to pause for a moment, like he's considering whether he wants to do or say something at that moment, and replies via the spell, and says, "If you meet me at the Raven after dark, I have some information for you."
She nods. I guess points in the direction of the Raven. Which means I'll meet you there.
And the two of them will exit.
And of course, they understood none of this.
Yep. None of that was audible to anyone else.
Not the message part, but Robin speaks Elvish.
Okay. Good to know.
Damn.
And so when he said, it's her fingers you got to look out for, that was him speaking up in Elvish and joining the conversation.
Nice. Well, then she told you to shut up in Elvish.
Fair enough.
So yeah. And she's gonna look at Robin and say in Elvish, I promise I solemnly swear that I am up to all good.
He'll just like sit there for a second and then go make trouble for the right people. Shrug. And then since Robin is feeling himself just a little bit, he will grab his loot. He flicks it to the full size, and you see his face change and everything go to basically just different about him. He's got a long bushy beard now. His hair has turned into thick braids down the back, and he's got much more angular, deep-set features, but he still seems human. And he stands up, and he's obviously feeling himself now after the shroom, the stew, the anchor drop, and he will then kick over a box in his bag so that it opens up kind of like a panhandling situation, and to the best service in Lumia, and starts strumming, and he improvises a song that men'll drool, women'll awe for Enel.
It does not look like this is the first song composed in her honor that Enel has ever heard. There's a bit of a blush because it's calling a lot of attention to her. And there are a couple of other tables that kind of cheer it on. She sort of shakes her head with that long-suffering, like, yep, this is hospitality work. That's pretty much how this goes. And brings by another round of drinks to the table, setting them all in front of you.
This, if any of the people around are listening, he will continue to play for at least a minute. And if anyone around is listening, up to 5 of them can be charmed by my humbling performance.
Alma's gonna look over at Tish and say, "You guys okay?" Tish. You guys okay?
You are muted.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I just haven't said anything.
Okay, when I couldn't hear the clap, I was like,
You feeling the tingle?
Is that what this feeling is? We cannot feel our fingers. Or our toes.
No.
How much have you had to drink?
Just the one.
How long has it been since you drank?
I'd be more
We
concerned
drink
about the mushroom.
ale all the time.
Okay then.
Oh no, Robin is too caught up in his performance to be catching on to any of this.
Do we need to get you medical assistance? or are you okay?
This is a very weird feeling. And with all 4 limbs tingling, you might also see a little bit of a come off of Tish a little bit.
A little warble.
You're not about to change into a dragon right here, are you?
No, you would recognize it as like an echo warble.
Oh, okay. Are you about to split?
I'm not meaning to.
Do you want me to end this? Because I can.
Do it.
Tish,
What?
do you want me to end this? Or... because I can.
Yes?
Okay. Just summon a tiny popper again and cast Lesser Restoration on you.
As soon as the spell takes effect, the tingling fades.
I did not like that.
Maybe no more special mushroom for you.
Oh. But it was so yummy.
I'm sure it was, but it's not worth dying.
But it wasn't the butter, right?
No, it was not the butter.
Okay.
Or was it?
Was there any left of that?
Was it the
mushroom?
butter?
No, it was not the butter. Lunas.
Well, I don't know.
I hope it's not the butter.
It's
butter
not the
was
butter.
really good.
It was not the butter.
If at the end of Robin's performance he has managed to charm at least 5 people in the room, he will try to use that leverage to get some coin dropped into the box that he dropped onto the floor.
There's definitely a few folks that will drop some coins in there, mostly silver.
Okay.
As this is not a particularly high-end sort of establishment.
Mm-hmm. What amount, or would you like to roll? Like me to make a roll to see how much coin he got dropped in there?
Roll a d12.
I will indeed. 11.
So 11 silver pieces in varying amounts. Some of them are in like you probably got 2 or 3 silver pieces worth of copper tossed in there.
Then Robin will gather up the coins that were in the box and head back to the table, and he drops 8 of the silver pieces on the table.
What next?
And he leans back in his chair. Well, I haven't had a night like this. I don't know if I've had a night like this. It's been too long. Well, if someone starts fighting now, then I'll have had a night like this. But currently, I don't think I've had a night like this.
I can make that happen. And she kind of like does like a little sparks that just kind of like fly from her fingers.
I'm good.
Okay.
We don't have Sobi, and I feel like Tish doesn't hold back when it comes to murder. So...
Fair.
I'm
Tish, drink more.
Robin, I can't have the mushroom anymore.
Oh no, didn't like it?
It didn't like her. Them.
Ooh, not
But it
so-
wasn't the butter.
Well, then glad it's not the butter. At least you have butter to look forward to.
Alma's gonna take the plate that had the mushrooms on it and pull it away and then push the charcuterie back to her.
Jeez.
And Robin's going to grab the bowl of mushrooms and scoot it closer to him and go ham on those mushrooms.
Did
The
you like...
mushrooms with the tasting mushroom have a really surprising range of tastes. They're almost all savory, but most of the bites have something else that sort of merges with it. The spicier mushrooms have a hint of sweetness to it, sort of a sweet and spicy sort of thing. And even the savory flavors have a really surprising depth and difference between each bite.
Did you like the mushroom, Tish?
It tasted good.
Okay, let's try this. Did you like the bread and the butter?
Yes.
Okay, and I'll just grab a piece of bread and butter and just put butter on it. And then I prestidigitate it to make it taste like the mushroom. And the butter.
All the tastes, none of the allergies.
Robin, you have to
Yes.
put butter on the mushrooms.
Why not? And so he actually just kind of gets a small little
You're like scraping the bottom of the ramekin to get the rest of the butter.
He'll get like a small scrape of it, like drop it into the soup and scoop that part up in his next bite. And you know what? Slimy yet satisfying.
Nice.
Hey.
All right, and I think that is as good a place as any to close this particular session. We will be back in 2 weeks. That will be not the 3rd, but the 10th, to continue adventures in Lumia. I'd like to thank everybody who came along to watch and experience the story with us. Got some really interesting backstory and some very interesting moments. And I look forward to seeing where everybody goes from here. They regularly take me for different turns than I would have expected. So it's definitely interesting to see what the party decides to do and where they decide to go.
But are you having fun with our twists and cul-de-sacs?
Oh, always.
I feel like today was just the neighborhood kids on their bikes doing circles in the cul-de-sacs, and it was kind of one of the best Saturdays.
Yeah.
So, you had those weekend days when you and your friends did nothing but do, loops in the cul-de-sac with your bike sometimes. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and rate out to High Rollers D&D, who are having their 151st session of Areois. But we are going to go around the table real fast and let folks know where they can find you, because I know at least 2 of these cast members have a new project that they can tell you since the last time we saw them here. So let's go ahead and we'll go counterclockwise this time. So, Miss Barbara, would you like to go first?
Yes. Hello. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Babs the Bat. You can find me here on the D4 channel every other Sunday. I think our next episode is the 10th of July?
Correct.
Something like that. Where I'll be back playing Tish. Every Saturday you can now find me over on D&D Jordan Lee's channel playing Sereth Gazemorn in the new campaign Ampistrano. We had our first episode yesterday and it was so fun. It's gonna be amazing. Jordan is an amazing dungeon master, and I'm so happy to get to play in 2 wonderful homebrew campaign setting games. So, but you can also find me over on the Chaotic Tiefling ATL channel, where we're gonna be doing stuff and things. We have Surprise Party coming back for its 3rd and final season on July 6th, and that'll run every Wednesday in July at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
All right. And Miss Jessica.
Everyone, I have been Alma of the Changing Hair. I promise this is only coffee, and I'm just in a really sassy mood today. You can find me here every other Sunday playing this character in her various forms. And then sometimes you can find me over on ATL by Night's channel playing Betty Crawford. I am again, kind of a sassy character. Go figure. Anarch. Yeah. I don't know. I'm toast. You know, this is not my strong point. So yeah. Anywho, that's me. You find me at Jessica Scale on Twitter. That is usually where I do most of my TTRPG tweeting stuff.
Okay, and Robo.
It's me, RoboGoblin, and you can find me at TTRPGibbs on Twitter and on Twitch. And I don't think I have anything yet. Oh, next weekend we're gonna have the an event raising money for the National Network of Abortion Funds. So it's gonna be TTRPGs and probably a lot of games. And we hope you get there, or see our amazing shows. And that me.
All right, and Master Finn.
Before I asked anything, your Bad Night one shot last night, Robo. Is there going to be a place where we could see a let's see, rebroadcast or VOD that we could pick up?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, last night I played a vampire for the first time ever, and it was really good. They're probably gonna upload the VOD to the Twitch.tv, or the VOD is probably there at the Carrion Comfort Studios.
Carrion Comfort Studios, and I know they mentioned they were planning on uploading it to YouTube, so I would check out their social media. You can find them on Twitter at Carrion Comfort Studios.
Yep.
And make sure you ask for that, because it was a really fun game to watch.
Yeah, and it's at Comfort Carrion on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And it wasn't just Robo that was there. Our very own Siren of the Sky joined them as well.
I noted.
Yeah.
And our What Streams May Come alumnus, Zach Simili, was I always just call him Zach. How do you pronounce the full name? Zach Simili? Zach Simili, that's right. Was the storyteller on that. So I know so many good people in that game. Gotta catch it. Anyway.
Where can we find you, Finn?
I have been Finn Archer, Robin Wayfair, and you can find me on Twitter at Bloodhaven Bard every other Sunday here, and milling about the chaotic tiefling world of streams and shows, and also every Saturday, with few exceptions, on D&D Jordan Lee's channel on Ampistrano, playing a very, very nerdy and socially awkward wizard who is, just as unRobin as we can make him. And I'm having so much fun with being wholesome, as wholesome as I can make happen. In any case, love you all, especially you. Thanks for watching.
And I have been your DM, Strike Red Kite. We are actually not going to raid High Rollers, as they are literally just wrapping up. So we're going to head over to Sensei Suplex. Go give them our regards and our love. And don't forget that later on this evening, of course, D4 will be back right here to pick up exactly where they left off. Things have been getting really interesting over there, so you definitely don't want to miss it. Have a great afternoon, everyone, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.